Planets aren't real. You heard me, and I have proof.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a series called Christians Stop Being Goofy, where I respond to Christians and some of the goofy things they say. And ladies and gentlemen, this is one of them.
In the Bible, God specifically only created the sun, moon, and stars. Nowhere in the Bible will you ever find mention of planets.
This is just an argument from silence. The Bible does not mention microorganisms, North America, or Australia, but that doesn't mean any of those things don't exist.
But here's the thing about stars. They're also commonly referred to in the Bible as angels.
Yes, this is true, but I would encourage you to check out Dr. Michael Heiser's comments on this here.
Hard to tell what's floating around the head of the average Israelite, even the biblical writers. Often with supernatural beings, with the language of metaphor, these are celestial objects. Well, that's where God lives, and so these objects up there are his servants. They could get conceived as supernatural beings. Also say they could look at Genesis and see God created the sun, moon, and the stars, and not necessarily sort of conflate those two things. So there are some passages that have a little bit more of an overlap. If you ask the question, hey, are angels, are the sons of God, are they those things we see twinkling up there? They could look at you and say, well, sure, they're in the heavens. This is where they live, and they move. They must be alive. You have this sort of thing operating, but you also have a very metaphorical level.
The best part is that I know exactly what kind of angels these were. These angels are referred to as Galgalim, and they're described in Ezekiel. This is a great representation of what Ezekiel saw.
So what she is referring to here is the Uphanim being the Hebrew term for wheels. These beings are described in the book of Ezekiel, and yeah, it's a very creepy and fantastical depiction. But the really important point to make here is that Ezekiel does not call them angels. The idea that these beings, the Uphanim, are a classification of angelic creatures is a post-biblical innovation. It's not in the text. The vast majority of cases, angels just look like dudes or shiny dudes.
I want you guys to really look at the structure of what a Galgalim looks like. And now I want to show you what a star looks like from a telescope. Look familiar?
Yeah, I'm sorry. The only similarity between those two things is that they're shiny and round. Christians, please keep two things in mind, one of those being that we need good biblical principles when it comes to interpreting scripture so that we're not engaging in logical fallacies in order to figure out what it means. And the second thing is that Christianity is not opposed to science. Christianity has actually helped propel science in a lot of meaningful directions.